Welcome to Comic and Screen. I am Sam Otten, and I'm joined today by Jason Book. Hey, Jason, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good, Sam. How are you?
Not too bad. We just were able to watch the Supergirl crossover with The Flash. This is episode 18 of the Supergirl season 1, and this episode is titled World's Finest. So a lot of people have been looking forward to this for a while, having The Flash from the popular CW show come over to a different network, CBS, and join Supergirl. The tones of the shows seem similar, so it seems like this was kind of feasible, but it had to get put together by the different networks, although they are owned by the same parent company. So I think that's why this was able to eventually happen.
Hmm.
So I had some positives, some negatives on the episode. What'd you make of it overall?
Yeah, pretty much the same with me. I liked the interactions between Kara and Barry. They were a really good fit. I wasn't exactly sure, except for maybe the reason you just mentioned is that they're on different networks, why it has to be a different universe. Like, why can't they just be like, oh, yeah, you're that guy that runs fast from your city, and I heard
Mm-hmm.
about the Arrow guy. Because I thought it makes sense that the TV universe is different than the movie universe, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't necessarily think we had to have a different universe for Gotham and all the TV shows, right? But,
Mm-hmm.
anyways, I like the parts with Bear and Carrie, but the parts when they were kind of fighting the villains and some of the stuff with the, all the people kind of jumping in to save them at the end and whatnot, they're just a little bit cheesy to me. Like, whereas the
Mm-hmm.
Flash TV show has a bit more feeling of danger and kind of
Mm-hmm.
there was real stuff going on. Supergirl seems a little bit lighter, and there have
Mm-hmm.
been some episodes that I have enjoyed, but just overall, I just find that I don't know if it's maybe because they're trying to find the right tone with it and really make it kind of
Mm-hmm.
something that young girls might want to watch. There's a lot of stuff about her liking Jimmy and stuff like that, and so I did enjoy parts of it, but overall, I'm not the hugest fan of the show every week.
Yeah, I mean, I like the show quite a bit, but I felt like this episode was actually one of the worst episodes.
Mm,
Even though I like the Flash and I like Supergirl, but
yeah, yeah,
just trying to put them together didn't quite work. And I think, like you said, I liked the idea of the villains and
yeah,
having a team up of villains to face a team up of heroes, but the execution was not that great. Like the
totally.
villains, yeah, the villains didn't really resonate, and it didn't.
No,
There wasn't that sense of danger, like you mentioned.
yeah.
And then to me, the big red flag was the climax, where where we're supposed to be kind of on the edge of our seats, and instead it kind of fell flat. So they wanted to
Yeah.
have in the previous couple episodes, Supergirl had the red kryptonite, and so she did some bad things and scared a lot of the city. So they were trying to follow up on that idea of like her winning the city back over onto her side, and they trust her again.
Yeah.
But they kind of had to force it in there at the end, and it's a bad sign when you have to insert voiceovers of the crowd saying like she saved us all,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
trust, like they basically just spelled out what we were supposed to interpret instead of just showing us and letting us interpret it.
Yeah, part of me
So,
thinks if it was a two-parter, they could have had more time to do cooler things with this episode and not make
mhm.
it feel so rushed, right?
Yeah, I did like, just like you said, I did like when Flash and Supergirl were interacting with each other. I thought
Yeah.
they kind of hit it off well, and that was fun to
Yeah.
watch. And I liked seeing Supergirl's team
Yeah.
interact with Barry Allen as well.
Yeah,
But
totally.
the actual plot of the episode with the villains and then the climax and that stuff, I also thought like the middle of the episode where they first meet the villains and then they retreat, and then for the climax they face the villains a final time.
Yeah.
But the middle one also was a bit clunky because
Sure.
basically the Flash and Supergirl were kind of just standing there watching them. Like, why isn't the Flash running up and doing stuff? Like
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
standing
yeah.
and talking at him for a while. And then the Flash just says, "Oh, we're not going to win. We need to retreat." And it
Yeah, it's kind
just
of
like
weird.
it seemed clearly like that the writers just had to they needed them to retreat for the purposes of the episode. It didn't really make sense in the situation.
I'm with you on that. And a side note about the villains, Silver Banshee, when it first came out in the Superman comics, I think it was like the volume two, the John Byrne run, is an issue that Mike Mignola of Hellboy art fame drew this issue, and it was great. It really delved into her having like this, how it tied back to Irish folklore, and like the character looked really cool and super horror based. And she was a great match for Superman because, as we know, Superman has weakness to magic. So when she like actually scratched Superman's chest, it ripped the S shield and his, Kryptonian costume. It was very cool, and they could have really dealt with her in a better heavy hitter way. But I just think they didn't really pick the right episode to put her on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it might be hard too, like as a tonal thing, because
Yeah.
it seems like that what you're describing might work better if it was like more darkly lit show that
Yes.
takes place at night
Like
more
a
and stuff. But
Halloween episode or something,
yeah,
right?
Supergirl is like during the daytime, and it's pretty, it's light in terms of the actual light on the
Yeah.
characters.
They
So
totally
that
with
maybe
you,
made it
yeah.
harder to do it with the makeup and stuff.
Yeah, and Livewire too. Like didn't really have much. Well, she wanted to kill Kat Gradigan. We've seen
Hmm.
that already. It just wasn't something really that needed to be in the episode. And I
Yeah.
guess it was like two fighting two. They had to do something like that. But yeah, it just could have been a lot better, I think.
Right. Yeah, and I hope too that like if a lot of new people were tuning into Supergirl because the Flash was on it,
Yeah,
I'm a little bit disappointed because this was not one of the better episodes, so
totally.
they didn't get a great representation of what Supergirl can do. Because
Mm.
Supergirl's had some really good episodes, I think. One thing I liked was the ending. So
Yeah,
like
that was kind
Kara
of
and
weird.
James have their kiss, and then James' reaction to the kiss, and you're kind of like, "Whoa, what's going on?" Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you realize, "Oh, this bigger thing is going on," and then Myriad is turned on by Non. So that did like that almost was the best part of the episode because I'm more interested in the next episode than I was in this one.
Yeah, it was a good grabber to make you like interested in the next one. And one thing though that did make me laugh is after seeing like excellent costume design in like Batman versus Superman, I'm watching these Kryptonian guys that
Oh
basically look like
yeah,
they're wearing Adidas tracksuits with a Superman type insignia on it. It's like, come on, you guys
yeah,
can do better than that. Because actually Kara's costume is quite well done.
right. I agree.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of a good cliffhanger for the episode for sure.
Yeah, so at least that'll have me. There's two more episodes in the season, I believe. There's a not this coming week, but after that there'll be two more episodes.
Mm.
Hopefully the ratings stabilize a little bit. So like right before this episode, the ratings had gone down from like a little over 7 million to about 6 million.
Mm.
So I'm hoping that this episode, even though it wasn't great, hopefully at least boosts them back up towards 7 million again. And then if they can hold that steady through the season finale, that would be good. And there's pretty much strong rumors from like people at CBS that this is picked up for season 2, but I don't think they've issued an official press release.
Yeah, I read that too. I'm surprised that it hasn't been announced yet. It's got to be. I'm sure it's popular enough that it's
Yeah, I
going to
think
be
they've
renewed.
verbally said that they are, but they just haven't in writing said that
Yeah.
they are. That's my understanding of it.
Well,
So,
it's good that it's out there, and to me, it's kind of like Gotham that way. Like some episodes are good and some aren't, and I just hope they kind of
mhm,
find maybe a way to kind of streamline it for season 2 and make it a
mhm.
little more stronger in every episode.
Yeah. And just finally, a quick comment on the shared universes. Like, I think Gotham can be a separate universe, but I kind of expected that the Berlanti shows, the
Yeah,
CW plus Supergirl, I thought that those could maybe be in the shared universe.
sure.
But maybe the reason they're not is actually because of Superman. So, like, it's
That's what I was
clear
thinking. Maybe.
on
Yeah.
the Supergirl show that Superman exists, and if you mix Supergirl with the CW shows, then that actually implies that Superman exists in all of those shows, and that might be a little bit too far.
Yeah, or maybe they're worried about people getting confused as they get closer to a Justice League movie too.
Yeah, and it just raises all this question of like, okay, they explained in Supergirl why Superman is not always helping Supergirl out all the time,
Mm,
but now you'd have to explain why isn't Superman helping in Central City or why isn't he helping, in Star City or whatever. So
true. Good
that
point.
might be why they and plus in the Flash they already had established the multiple Earths, so it made it pretty easy for him to jump over.
Yeah, that's true. So
So I'm
overall,
yeah,
yeah,
it's okay.
it was cool to see Barry on the episode, but really, I'm kind of glad it's a one-off thing.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, hopefully they can finish strong for this season because I do like the show overall and I want it to continue. So this one was a little bit of a miss, though, I have to admit.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we'll see what happens after that cliffhanger. It sounds kind of interesting. Anyways.
Yep. All right. Cool. Talk to you about it later.
All right.